FIFA just changed football. And most people watching the 2026 World Cup haven't fully realized it yet. Not with a rule change announced in a press conference. Not with a controversial VAR decision or a ticketing scandal or a visa denial. FIFA changed football at this World Cup with something far more subtle. A 3-minute pause in the middle of every single match, mandatory, regardless of temperature, regardless of weather, regardless of whether any player actually needs a drink of water. FIFA is calling them hydration breaks. The rest of football is calling them something else entirely. The 2026 FIFA World Cup hydration break controversy began on December 5, 2025, when FIFA's chief tournament officer Manolo Zubiria announced that all 104 matches at the 2026 World Cup would feature mandatory 3-minute stoppages midway through each half, at approximately the 22nd minute of the first half and the 67th minute of the second. The reason FIFA gave was straightforward. The extreme summer heat expected across the United States, Canada, and Mexico during the tournament posed a genuine risk to player welfare, and mandatory hydration breaks would ensure every player at every match had the opportunity to rehydrate safely. For every game, no matter where the games are played, no matter if there's a roof or temperature-wise, there will be a 3-minute hydration break, Zubiria said. Nobody asked the obvious question in that moment. What happens when it isn't hot? The obvious question arrived with full force at BMO Field in Toronto, Canada, on June 14, 2026, when Ghana faced Panama in a Group B match played in temperatures of approximately 16 degrees Celsius, roughly 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Cool, comfortable. The kind of temperature at which no professional athlete playing 90 minutes of football needs a mandatory 3-minute water break. The referee stopped the match anyway, at the 22nd minute, for 3 minutes, because FIFA said so. Taylor Twellman, one of the most respected football analysts in American broadcast media, the lead match analyst for Apple TV's MLS coverage, and a former ESPN lead soccer analyst who has broadcast 3 World Cups, did not hide his reaction to what happened at BMO Field in Toronto. Take, for instance, when Ghana played Panama in Toronto. Twellman said, "It was 60-something degrees Fahrenheit. That doesn't make sense to me to have a hydration break there." Twellman made clear that his objection was not to hydration breaks in principle. He said he had zero problems with them when temperature and humidity genuinely justified stopping the game. His objection was to the word mandatory. Matches that become about the player's welfare. That's an example of when you needed a hydration break, he said. But when it's not used for something in that fashion, you really kill rhythm and momentum. And killing rhythm and momentum is exactly what FIFA's hydration breaks are doing at the 2026 World Cup, match after match, half after half, regardless of the weather. The evidence from the first 2 weeks at the 2026 World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico is no longer anecdotal. It is statistical, and it is damning. In the first half of the Brazil versus Morocco group stage match at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles on June 16, 2026, Morocco took the lead and appeared to be building dangerous momentum when the referee's whistle stopped play at the 22nd minute of the first half for the mandatory hydration break. Morocco head coach Walid Regragui had his players working well. The Atlas Lions were controlling the tempo and dominating possession in the periods before the break. Then FIFA stopped the game for 3 minutes. Brazil head coach Carlo Ancelotti gathered his players around him at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles during that hydration break in the first half against Morocco and delivered tactical instructions. He identified the problem. He adjusted the plan. 6 minutes after the resumption of play following that break, Vinicius Jr. scored Brazil's equalizer.
I wanted to talk about a player who wasn't on the pitch. Neymar, we saw him floating around. He was on the bench. He was talking to Tom Brady prior to kickoff. We're told that he maybe is going to be back in training over the next few days, maybe next week. But the question for Ancelotti was, it's the devil you do, the devil you don't. He felt maybe that he had to take Neymar, given the figure that he is in Brazilian football, but obviously he's injured, and who knows if he's going to be able to actually play in some of these group games.
The match finished 1-1. After the final whistle at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, Carlo Ancelotti confirmed directly what had happened. "You can explain a problem to the players and make a tactical adjustment that can be very good," Ancelotti said. Morocco registered 7 shots worth 0.9 expected goals before the hydration break in the first half. After it, they could produce only 0.3 expected goals from 5 shots. The break did not just pause the game. It ended Morocco's momentum entirely. The same pattern appeared in the Netherlands versus Japan group stage match. Japan had 2 shots before the second half hydration break. After the break, Japan registered 5 shots, nearly all of their expected goals for the entire match coming in the periods after the mandatory pauses. The hydration breaks are not interrupting matches at random moments. They are interrupting momentum. And they are doing it systematically, at the same minute in every single match, giving every coach in this World Cup the same tactical information and the same tactical opportunity at the same moment in every game. Emma Hayes, the head coach of the United States women's national team, and one of the most analytically sharp minds in world football, gave the hydration breaks a name that has since become the defining phrase of the 2026 World Cup debate. It's advantageous for the team losing momentum. That's why I call them momentum breaks, Hayes said.
Safety. Hydration. That's what FIFA wants you to believe. But here's the detail that blows the whole thing apart. These breaks happen regardless of the weather. They happen in domes. They happen in mild conditions. They happen when nobody is overheating. Take the USA versus Paraguay match.
Not hydration breaks, momentum breaks, because that is what they are. But the momentum question, as significant as it is only half the story of FIFA's hydration breaks at the 2026 World Cup. The other half is the one FIFA's official communications have been careful not to lead with: the money. The Wall Street Journal reported in the days before the 2026 World Cup that a single 30-second advertising spot during one of the mandatory hydration breaks on Fox Sports, the primary English-language broadcaster for the tournament in the United States, was selling for $275,000. A single 30-second spot during a 3-minute break that produces 6 such slots in a match that has 2 hydration breaks per game across 104 total matches. The 3 group stage matches involving the United States men's national team alone, each of which produces peak viewership and therefore peak advertising rates, were estimated by the Wall Street Journal to generate approximately $23 million in advertising revenue from the hydration break slots alone, not from the match itself, not from pre-match or post-match coverage, specifically from the 3-minute hydration breaks in the middle of each half. The Canadian broadcaster CBC and the Spanish-language American broadcaster Telemundo both announced they would not use the hydration break pauses for commercial advertising. The United Kingdom's ITV Sport made the same decision. But Fox Sports, broadcasting to the largest single market of sports consumers on Earth during the 2026 World Cup, took the commercial option. Every hydration break, every match, 6 advertising slots, $275,000 each. FIFA's chief tournament officer Manolo Zubiria said the hydration breaks would happen for every game, no matter where the games are played, no matter if there's a roof or temperature-wise. The financial analysis in the Wall Street Journal suggests one reason that might be the case regardless of temperature. FIFA's chief referee Pierluigi Collina has spent the 2026 World Cup fighting a battle on a completely different front. Pierluigi Collina, who serves as FIFA's head of referees and has been the most recognizable figure in international refereeing for more than 2 decades, decided before this tournament began that the approach taken at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where matches routinely stretched beyond 100 minutes of added time and games averaged over 102 minutes per fixture, was fundamentally wrong. In Qatar, Collina had instructed referees to add every single lost second to stoppage time. The result was matches that dragged on past the 100-minute mark, exhausted players, frustrated fans, and a viewing experience that felt bloated and endless. For the 2026 World Cup, Pierluigi Collina reversed that philosophy entirely. He introduced 5-second countdowns on goal kicks and throw-ins. He placed a 10-second limit on substitutions. He banned goalkeeper tactical timeouts. He introduced a rule requiring any player receiving treatment on the field to leave the pitch and remain off it for 1 full minute, eliminating the incentive for players to go down with fake injuries and then spring back up moments later. The goal Collina stated publicly was not to add all lost time at the end of each half, but to prevent that time from being lost in the first place. The objective is to eliminate, as much as possible, the disruption of the tempo of the match, Collina said. The results of Collina's time management crackdown at the 2026 World Cup are measurable and significant. Average match length at this World Cup, excluding hydration breaks, is 96 minutes and 8 seconds. At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, the equivalent figure was more than 102 minutes. Matches are shorter, sharper, and the tempo is noticeably faster. The ball is in play for approximately 57 minutes and 22 seconds per match, slightly below Qatar's figure of 58 minutes, but significantly higher than Russia 2018's 54 minutes and 50 seconds. Fans and pundits in the United States, Canada, and Mexico have broadly welcomed the changes. The game feels faster, it feels more decisive. But Pierluigi Collina's time management reforms and FIFA's mandatory hydration breaks are pulling in opposite directions. One system is designed to keep the game flowing and prevent unnecessary stoppages. The other is mandatory, timed, and commercial. Every 22 minutes of the first half and every 22 minutes of the second half, regardless of everything Collina has built, a whistle blows and the football stops for 3 minutes because FIFA has decided it must. Mauricio Pochettino, the United States head coach, said before the tournament that he did not like the hydration breaks when conditions did not justify them. "I don't like it. I only like it when the conditions are extreme," Pochettino said, "but when the conditions are good, it is unnecessary." Julian Nagelsmann, the Germany head coach, described using the hydration break against Curaçao at NRG Stadium in Houston as a tactical opportunity. "The water break was actually good to simply reiterate what we had already adjusted on the board," Nagelsmann said. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is now firmly divided into what is effectively 4 quarters per match. 2 halves, each split by a mandatory 3-minute commercial and tactical pause. FIFA designed a football tournament. What it has produced, whether intentionally or not, is something that looks increasingly like an American sport format. That may not be an accident. The 2026 World Cup is being played in the United States, the world's largest sports market, a country where every major professional sport features regular, structured breaks that allow for commercial advertising. The NFL has timeouts. The NBA has timeouts. The MLB has pitching changes. American sports broadcasting is built around the commercial break. And now, for the first time in World Cup history, football has one too. Built-in, mandatory, and worth hundreds of thousands of dollars per slot. The hydration break money flows. The momentum breaks happen. And football, the game that has run continuously for 45 minutes per half for more than 100 years, has been quietly, profitably, and permanently altered at the biggest tournament in its history. FIFA has not changed the rules of football. FIFA has just changed the game of football, and nobody voted for it. Nobody agreed to it. It just happened. 3 minutes at a time, twice a match, 104 matches, $275,000 per 30-second slot. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the hydration breaks are helping players or hurting football? And do you think this is really about player welfare? Or is it about the money? I want to hear both sides.